Living in a dead end town, no one knows where I go. Living with the stones.
Hey, South Africa. Here at Underground Press, we're very fortunate to be speaking to Armand de Vries, known as ADV. He's a drummer, he's a guitarist, he's a bassist, been in several bands, a muso all around. Looking forward to chatting to you, Armand. How are you doing, man?
I'm good on you, man.
Really can't complain. Thank you very much. So, let's get straight into it. You've had a good 6 years with a band that I've certainly enjoyed watching before. Especially since I've actually photographed you guys a couple of times playing as Hyven. You've also had your stint as Bob in the band, and now you've decided to go on your own and, cutting a really good track or two. I've been enjoying your music. Take us through, the kind of offering of ADV.
Oh, thanks, man. So, after being in a band for like 6 years and then trying another band, I just got tired of the whole situation of fighting about whose songs is gonna get picked and the creative differences and blah blah blah. So, I can play the instruments that you need for a basic song. So I just started writing them and I showed myself out of the bands and I sold my drum set. I got the recording equipment and I just wrote songs and recorded them.
Interesting. You sold your drum kit. Jeez, that's
Yeah. Yeah,
that's a very bold move.
The last couple of gigs with Bob and the band, which was after Haven, I didn't even have a drum set to practice on because I already sold it. But it went down okay, I guess. It was worth it in the end, though.
So I suppose having autonomous control and creative freedom of when you play, where you play, what you do, what you write.
Yeah, definitely.
That comes with a solo artist, right? So, right, looking at your history, like for instance, where I know you from in Haven, it was obviously quite a hard rock band, and Bob and the band was obviously going in a slightly different direction. But what I'm hearing in your solo stuff, specifically when I listen to and Dead End Town, oh man, what I hear there is such a beautiful combination of everything from Alice in Chains, Foo Fighters. I hear a bit of Nirvana influence. Am I wrong? That's certainly what I'm picking
you
up there.
are 110% correct. Because the aim I had for Dead in Town was a mixture of the Doors and Nirvana. I think you can hear it in the verse. It's the Doors, and in the chorus it's Nirvana. But yeah, Alice in Chains, I'm glad you picked that up because I think Alice in Chains were the most underrated grunge group of that era.
Oh,
Nirvana got all the fame and so on, but Alice in Chains, their harmony stuck with me ever since I heard Wood.
Oh yes.
I don't know about you. Are you a big fan of them?
Absolutely. Which is when I was listening to your music, I was getting that little smirky grin on my face going, Yes, definitely a Chains fan, a big Chains fan. I could hear it in the chord progression, songwriting. And then let's not forget, on your song you said you'd love. That again is, it's almost like this grandiose opus. It starts off with a very kind of bluegrassy, funky soul. And then you just have this breakdown where you go straight back into the grungy stuff, and obviously you end it again on that nice sort of like rhythmic soul. And at the length of the track, it's sort of almost like your equivalent of the Doors' "This Is the End." I almost sort of felt like that was your Bohemian Rhapsody. So how on earth did you go about creating that track?
Well, I think I was in George at the time, and I wrote Dead in Town, and You Said You'd Love in the same day, I think. Yeah, I just had an acoustic on me. I was in George, very bored, and I just played this riff. And that became You Said You'd Love. But I was also searching for a live environment type song. So I think that is a pretty cool song to play live because people only remember the beginning and the end of bands set live. So if I can play that in the middle and then just turn it around like in the middle of the song, I think it will make a bit of an impact. So that was my goal with that song. But yeah, a lot of people don't like that one as opposed to Dead in Town and so on. But I think I just wrote that for a live setting.
Well, I enjoy the song because obviously I like storytelling, I like progression in music, and this takes you on a journey. Specifically if you listen to it end to end,
Yeah.
you can see probably a commentary on the state of mind that you're in at that point in time. But certainly it's a great track. I like all of them. Of course, yeah. I mean the influences that comes through is like I said, right up my alley as well. And quite a progression from rocking out with the Metal for Africas and Summerfest to now playing solo stages. How has that treated you, the transition?
Well, so the first time I gave ADV a try was back in, I think, 2016. And, well, technically the first ADV show was an unplugged show because I had no band. I was not prepared at all. But nowadays, I'm booking gigs at, Raptor Room and then Viper Lounge. And I'm going to go back to Ellington's again. But I haven't played a show with my full band. We only started rehearsing last week.
Oh.
Because I'm still in the middle of writing an EP. And that is releasing on the 3rd of March, which is, 3 weeks from now?
Yay. Nice.
Maybe
we'll be
2.
watching.
So, yeah, then I'm going to try and get in at every place possible. But for now, it's just a lot on my plate because I have to write them, mix them, master them, try and do the marketing, create the artwork. I'm trying to get the website going. So yeah, I try to get by with everything I can.
You're certainly a master of many trades. The fact that you're even a sound...
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Well, I certainly love the end product. So from that perspective, it's a nice mix of influence that's going into this end product. And even the fact that you're a sound engineer and a mixer, it means you know what you want, right? And you're bringing that to the mix. Just a quick question. I also like when you go to some of your more acoustic stuff. I like the sound. What is it that you're playing? What guitars and what's your setup like?
Well, I was always a fan of second-hand shop guitars. 2 reasons. I never have the money for a brand new one. Second reason is there's almost like a character already in the guitar and I just get to pick it up and take it away. But yeah, I never play with name brand stuff. Like my bass that I have at the moment, I'm borrowing from a friend. I don't even have my own bass. But like Dead in Town, I recorded the bass parts on my electric guitar. I mean, you can manipulate it to sound like a bass. So yeah, I'm not an equipment nerd, but the acoustic I play on, I think that one was a Maxwell, like on I, and it was a very low tuning. But yeah, I just play with crap and try to make it sound beautiful.
It's amazing always when why I asked that question is specifically singer-songwriters. It's typically the Willie Nelson guitar, right? It's like that thing that's been with you forever. It's got holes in it already, but it's got character.
I remember when my dad is a big Willie fan, and I think I was like 8 years old, and I was listening to it. I still dig him, and then he showed me a live show. My dad's very old school. It's probably where I get my roots from, but he showed me this live show, and I just was like, what the fuck is he playing on? Is that like a box with holes?
Yeah.
But I mean, he makes it work.
Absolutely. And I mean, if you listen to the sound that he gets out of it, it's so unique that I think if you had to go and put all the money in the world, it doesn't buy talent and it doesn't buy necessarily sound.
No way.
And I mean, even if you look at some of the artists, I'm very excited to see Shaky Graves coming to South Africa. That's a guy that, if you look how he plays on his guitar, and he's got a little box and a little kick drum at the floor, and what he produces as man alone is absolute genius. I think he's going to absolutely wow the audiences, and I can see you in a scenario building a career, for yourself in something that is either almost like Alice in Chains unplugged with a soul blues element to it, right? So that's certainly, and like you said, that you can take around the country, So I look forward to seeing you playing pubs and clubs and festivals and just building that career.
Yeah, no, I can't wait because I am getting some sort of cabin fever. I'm just inside this four walls in my room trying to get this stuff done. So yeah, I can't wait to play live.
Well, at least there's people waiting to hear it. So from that perspective, keep doing what you're doing. It's awesome. And listen, thank you very much for chatting to us. But for those people that don't know you, how can they follow you? What's your socials, and where you playing, and what's coming up immediately right now? And how do they follow you? Where do they find the info?
Well, Facebook is a big one. You can just type in I am ADV. That's my handle. And then on Instagram, you can just type in ADV official. And then on YouTube, you can just type in my name with the song, like for instance, ADV Dead and Down, and it will pop up. Everything is linked with each other, and yeah, I'm busy designing a website, so hopefully in the future everyone can connect on that side. But yeah, for now, the standard platforms are there: Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Good stuff. Arman, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for the music.
Thank you, man.
We look forward to that album launch, the 3rd of March, right? 3rd of March.
Yes, that is correct.
That's a big one. And keep rocking and keep rolling, dude.
Thank you, man. Have a good one.
Lekker. Cheers.
Just you waiting.